What's going on, everyone? So after the reports that came out from Mark Stein, did a whole video on it. Check out that video if you haven't seen it yet. Of course, after this video, of course. But after the Mark Stein reports about, essentially the Lakers are out on Walker Kessler, Jakob Poeltl, and potentially Nikola Vucevic. Now, Jakob Poeltl and Walker Kessler were always a bit of a stretch, right? Like the Utah Jazz don't really want to trade Walker Kessler anymore. And the only way that they're going to trade him is for like a Godfather package. Same thing with Jakob Poeltl. Like Toronto's not like completely against it, but they don't want to. It's just kind of like, if you make me an offer I can't refuse, then fine, you can have him. Otherwise, we're just going to keep him, right? Like we don't necessarily want to trade him. We want to keep him. We want to trade Boucher, like things like that. And then the general consensus, something that I've talked about and hit on heavily, is the Lakers clearly want to maintain flexibility going into next season. Right? I've talked about, look at all of the options that have heavily been linked to the Lakers for the most part, right? Guys like a Bruce Brown, Alonzo Ball, Malcolm Brogdon, even guys like Jonas Valanciunas, a Day'Ron Sharpe, right? All these guys give the Lakers flexibility. They're all either expiring contracts or they're super cheap for the next few seasons. Or in like Jonas Valanciunas' case, he is technically an expiring contract next season because his third year is a team option. So the Lakers could leverage him in a trade next season if you wanted to, if it doesn't work out or whatever, right? So you kind of just look at kind of the landscape. Now, Nikola Vucevic, I still think that that's a possibility. I still think that could happen. There's concerns about, because supposedly Chicago wants a first on top of a first, right? He has another year on his deal, and it's just like you're going to have to give up Rui and Jalen Hood-Schifino. Okay, fine. Is that the end of the world? Probably not. But then you have to give a first on top of it, given all the circumstances with Nikola Vucevic's age, stuff like that. Like, if you could get him, if Chicago tomorrow was like, just give us your 2 seconds, Lakers, and you could have Nikola Vucevic, which could happen by the trade deadline, I think the Lakers would do it. Especially after what Anthony Davis said, especially how Anthony Davis basically was like, hey, go get me a center. So I don't think that the Lakers are completely out on Nikola Vucevic. However, what have I maintained this entire time? It's probably going to be Jonas Valanciunas. And I did a whole video on like the 3 centers that I think are most likely, and it was Nikola Vucevic, Jonas Valanciunas, and Day'Ron Sharpe. Now, obviously Miles Turner, if he becomes available. But again, as of yet, there's no word that he's actually available. Just murmurs and whispers and kind of like, hey, through the grapevine, or, hey, a little birdie told me that Miles Turner may end up being available between now and the trade deadline. If that happens, then great. Yes, Lakers need to push their chips in and go get Miles Turner. However, if that doesn't happen, then I think it's probably going to be Jonas Valanciunas or Day'Ron Sharpe. I know people aren't super stoked, aren't super thrilled on a Jonas Valanciunas. I think he will be fine. I think he would be great, right? Also, it really does come down to like, what does Anthony Davis want? And I've talked about this briefly in a few other videos, but I want to kind of hit on this more because I do think it's important. Anthony Davis obviously has made it clear that he doesn't want to play center full time. Right? He has said, I'll play center. I just don't want to play it 40 minutes a game, right? I mean, he even played center in the bubble year. Like, we were closing with him at the center spot, right? So it's not that he's completely against playing center. He just wants to primarily play the 4 and then in spots play the center spot. So if you were to get a backup like a Jonas Valanciunas, then fine. Like, does Anthony Davis want to start at the power forward, or is it just about the minutes, right? Because you could just be like, hey, we'll go get a Jonas Valanciunas. We'll just play, like, how many minutes do you want to play at the power forward spot? 25. All right, fine. We'll play you 25 minutes at the power forward spot and alongside. So we'll start you first 5 minutes, right? We'll take LeBron out, put Nikola Vucevic in, you slide to the 4, and then you play the 4 the rest of the time. And then we'll just keep having you play the 4, right, alongside Nikola Vucevic, and we'll trickle you in at between the 4 and the 5. Perfect. He might be like, sure. Like, that's all I want, right? Then at that point, you're fine. Nikola Vucevic is a guy who gets you double-double in limited minutes. Play him 20 minutes a game. He'll get you probably 12 and 10, and you're fine, right? Like, and you could probably get him for a second. Oh, and you can also go make other moves because you could just swap Gabe Vincent for him. And then at that point, I still think it's probably a Bruce Brown. I think when all is said and done, and we get through this trade deadline. And again, I could be wrong. It's just a guess, right? There's definitely still other options. But again, what is the consensus? What is the commonalities that we keep hearing and we keep getting? Bruce Brown and Jonas Valanciunas. Over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. I think that's what's going to happen. I think the Lakers are going to end up trading Gabe Vincent for Jonas Valanciunas, and then they'll go and bring in a Bruce Brown to replace Gabe Vincent, and supposedly they may even try to get an Abaji or something like that, however they want to shape it up, but they'll essentially turn Rui and Jalen Uchifino and whatever else to go get a Bruce Brown, open up a roster spot, bring in whatever you need to bring in a Jemison. So now you have like a big physical center on the interior. And then there you go. Right? And Lakers will end up with Jonas Valanciunas to give you a double-double in a few minutes of action. And can also on any given random night go get you 25. He's even had 30-point games, right? So like he's a guy that on any given night could just go off. And then Bruce Brown gives you another defensive point of attack guy, gives you a bigger Gabe Vincent, which is what the Lakers, could really use. Kind of a bigger, more physical, stronger Gabe Vincent that can still initiate, play on ball, play off ball, do all those things, right? And Lakers, supposedly, based on the reports, really want to lean into the defensive identity, right? Well, again, if you can't get a defensive center, you need to just get a center just to get a center. So go get, like I said, a Jonas Valanciunas, and then just go get the pieces that you need to help with that perimeter defense. Right? I really do lean towards Bruce Brown and Jonas Valanciunas still. Now, again, there's still options. Like I said, maybe they go get Bruce Brown and Nikola Vucevic. Maybe they'll get Nikola Vucevic and an Io. That would actually be my favorite based on like kind of how things are shaping up. Can we get an Io? Chicago is apparently having a fire sale. They've opened up everything but their rookie. The rookie is the only guy that they don't want to trade. So can you get an Io and a Nikola Vucevic? I think that solves all your problems too. And that's like Gabe Vincent and Rui Hachimura for Io and Nikola Vucevic. Easy. 2-for-2 swap. You actually clear an extra $1 million off your books. And you give up, say, a first and 2 seconds. Perfect. All right, let's go. All right, and now you got that young, versatile, athletic combo guard for now in the future. I just, if you could do something like that, that'd be great. But, you kind of look at the Lakers, right? They clearly want two things, right? They want a point of attack guard, and they want a center, right? Anthony Davis wants a center. Lakers don't really seem unless the reports are inaccurate, which possibility, but that the Lakers don't necessarily want a starting center. That they want that upgrade at the center spot, but in the form of a Nikola Vucevic, in the form of a Jonas Valanciunas or a Day'Ron Sharpe, right? Those two guys are the guys that they want to kind of slot in, bring in, and have them kind of play the backup role, play the backup minutes, right? And then you can slot them both alongside Anthony Davis, and you're good. And then you can go focus and put the money into a Bruce Brown. Oh, and by the way, you still have flexibility because Jonas Valanciunas would be in it again. You could utilize him as an expiring contract because he has a non-guaranteed for that third year, and then a Bruce Brown. You're clearing salary off your books. You could end up clearing in the offseason $40 million, more depending on how much LeBron's willing to take, right? Because you could go get. If you were to go get a Bruce Brown, you're knocking off probably $10 million at least minimum off your books because Bruce Brown isn't going to get another $23 million. So he's probably going to get basically what Gabe Vincent was going to get, the mid-level exception. So he's probably getting $13 million a year, roughly. So you clear $10 million off your books in that regard, plus all the little pieces that fall off. And then LeBron James could take $20 million less, and there you go. Boom, you just cleared $30 million. And now you could free up your full mid-level exception and go get that final piece or two that you need to go contend and win a championship. And if you win it this year, beautiful. Now you're going for a back-to-back and upgrading in the key spot or two where now you have a better chance of winning a back-to-back. I think it's something that makes sense. I think it's something that it's probably the direction the league is going to go. I think they probably go with the cheap center and they go get that guard, whether it's an Io or Bruce Brown or Lonzo or Malcolm Brogdon. I just think it's probably going to be Bruce Brown and Valanciunas, or if I had to guess, that's probably how it's going to go. But I think that that's ultimately, like, they're going to go cheap center and more expensive, but maintaining flexibility guard. Right? You look at Lonzo Ball, look at Bruce Brown, look at Malcolm Brogdon. All three guys are expiring contracts. All three guys aren't going to make as much as they're making right now. So all three guys clear a bunch of salary off your books. And now, again, now you got the flexibility. You got a cheap center, and you're good. Right? If it's a Day'Ron Sharp, yeah, he's going to have to get a new contract. But, again, he's probably making $10 million a year, $12 million a year. Right? So, again, you're not paying him $30 million a year. Right? And at that point, you're kind of just making it up in the area of Bruce Brown's salary, right? And then LeBron can still take the discount and free up the mid-level exception, and then boom, there you go. Now you have all the things you need. So, anyways, always, this is a discussion, and I pass a question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? What are your thoughts? Do you agree with me? Disagree with me? Kind of mixed in the middle. What kind of pairings would you like to see the Lakers pull off? I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. It's me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.